Hey, it's Cassandra from the Back 40 Homestead, and I just want to take a moment to talk to you guys about sourdough bread. It has become one of my favorite things to bake, and I really hope so because I do it on a weekly basis here. We no longer buy store-bought bread, and I've been making sourdough bread for quite some time now, and I have a starter that's been going on for over a year now. I know that sourdough bread is something a lot of people get intimidated by, and it's not something that you need to be. So I have created a sourdough sandwich bread recipe that we use weekly here that is foolproof and easy to make. It is on my blog, so I decided today that I was going to do a step-by-step video to show you that it is so simple to make this bread and that anyone can do it, so you should try.
So I highly suggest that when you're making bread or any kind of baking pastries that you use a scale. It just helps that you get a more accurate reading and measurements so that you get the more perfect kind of end result. So to start with this recipe, you're going to use 150 grams of sourdough starter, and you want to make sure that you have a starter that has the bubbles like that one did there. Next, you'll want to add your flour, and you will want to do 1,000 grams of flour. If you're using your scale, you don't need to worry about sifting, but if you don't use a scale, you do want to sift because as flour sits, the heavier particles go down to the bottom, and so it's kind of an uneven flour if you don't sift it. Now the next step doesn't matter, you can do salt or sugar, but each will be 20 grams. And if you don't prefer the sugar, you don't have to add it. It's not necessary. I just like the sweetness in the bread, plus it's another added natural preservative. And then your final ingredient will be 750 grams of warm water. And I want to emphasize warm water because that helps the natural yeast in your sourdough starter continue being as active as it should be and gets everything going a little bit quickly. From there, you're just going to sit there and mix so that you can get all the ingredients incorporated. And just so you know, the dough is not going to be like your typical bread dough when you're done kneading it. It's going to be a lot more sticky, lumpy, and that's completely normal and fine. From here, I like to make sure that I get all the dough off of the spoon and use your finger. And yes, like I said, it will be sticky and it has a little bit of tacky. Totally normal, and that will change. From then, you're going to grab, you can use plastic wrap, or if you have a reusable cover like this one, you're going to cover it and set a timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you're going to fold your dough into itself like you can see here, and you're going to rotate the bowl twice around while you're doing that. Recover and set the timer for 30 more minutes. You're going to go through this process 3 more times. The 4th time that you go to roll the dough, you're going to end up separating it into your 2 loaves. You can try to cut it, but it may be a little bit sticky, so it might be better to just fold it into itself and then use your hand and lift up about half of the dough and use a knife and cut the dough in half. Then you'll separate and put half the dough in a new bowl, fold it into itself, and fold the old dough into itself as well. When done folding, you will cover both bowls and let the dough rise for 24 to 48 hours or until double in size. After 24 to 48 hours or your dough has doubled in size, you're going to line 2 bread pans with parchment paper, and then you're going to scrape your dough out of the bowls and put them into the pans. Don't worry about your dough being the perfect shape when putting it into the pans because it needs to do a second rise and it will make a better shape during that. Cover and let it do its second rise for up to 2 hours. Know that the dough is ready when you take a floured finger and you poke your dough and it has a little indent that bounces back just barely like you'll see here. Bake at 350 degrees for 1 hour or until your bread tops are golden brown. When the bread is done baking, let the bread sit in the pan for 5 minutes on the counter. Then remove the loaves from the parchment paper and set the loaves on top of a kitchen towel. Wrap the loaves in the kitchen towel, and if they don't fit, it's fine, just grab another one and put it on top. You'll want the loaves to sit in this towel for a few hours up to overnight.
And that's it. I told you, super easy. If you want the step-by-steps written out, I will link the blog post down below. Thanks for watching. Hey, want to keep up with the Back 40 Homestead? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom.